going to show you how to do some beadwork using a loom. Looms are used to do bracelets, barrettes, lanyards, headbands. Anything that's long, flat, and rectangular can be done on a loom. I'm going to show you how to do earrings today. Now, looms can be done out of anything from wood to metal. I prefer using the wood, and I use a very lightweight wood. I put screws on both ends and I put a spring on each end. Now, when I start this, I tie my thread to the screw here, and I'll run the thread the whole length, and I'll just wrap it around the screw on this side and then come back. I keep doing that till I have the number of threads that I need for the pattern that I'm doing. If you're doing 15 beads wide, you need 16 threads on it because you need one on each side of every bead. Now, once you've got that on there, always have a pattern in mind of what you're going to do. That's the simplest way of doing it. You're going to take one end of your thread and come up between the first thread and the second thread on your loom. And just tie a simple knot. Now, there's different size beads that you can use. The higher the number of the bead, the smaller the bead is. I prefer using size 15s. A lot of people will use a size 11. Anything bigger than that, you get kind of a big chunky piece. Now, I need 15 beads on there. You gotta bear with me. This is a little tedious, and I'm not in my normal spot to bead. I come underneath the threads with the beads. This is probably the hardest part for beginners. You want to get the beads, just push up so there's a bead between each thread. And sometimes it's the hardest start for people that have been doing it for a long time. You want to make sure that your needle is coming back over the top of the threads. So you have a thread that's going under and a thread that's going over. And that's what holds the beads in place. And you simply pull through, snug it up a little bit. Now, the simplest way to do any beadwork is to have a pattern to follow. And I've already got one done here, so I know what my bead colors on my second row are going to be. And once I've got them on there, I'll do the same thing again. I'll go underneath, push the beads up. You see that with a row already started, it's a lot easier. I'll come through the beads again. Now, before I start my third row, you can see what happens. You can see the beads get all wobbly. I will take my needle I'll go back through the beads on the first row. Go to the second row and come back that way. Now you can see they're nice and tight and they're not going to move around on you. I'll do the whole pattern till I'm done with it. When I get to the end, I'm going to do the same thing I did down here. I'm going to loop it back and forth a couple times through those top 2 rows. That way the beads, same thing as here, they're nice and tight, they're not going to slide. When I've done my whole row of beads, I'll simply cut them off on each end so I have this. This way I'm not wasting all this thread, and I've got 4 rows of earrings done. And once those are done, we'll put leather on the back, tuck those threads under the leather, glue it on, and then we sew this along the edge so that it's nice and tight, and then we put our hooks on it. That's just a simple little way of doing any type of flat bead work that there is.